Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to the channel Held Eminence. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe and also click that notification bell if you enjoy what you're seeing and if you want to continue seeing more. Coming up in this episode, New Zealand Warriors get an extra home game thanks to another NRL team. The viewing figures for the semi-final between Australia and New Zealand are out and they're pleasant reading. And the Englishman in the Samoa camp, how he's loving life and appreciates the England team. Where else do we have to look at but the Rugby League World Cup, as the men's semi-finals played out two fantastic games, different styles, but with close fought battles all over the two pitches, whether it's Ellen Road or the Emirates. You were not entertained when it came to those four nations coming into battle, with Australia beating New Zealand and Samoa beating England in golden point extra time. But apart from the results, there were other positives from these two scores have been the viewing numbers. We have got Fridays in the UK for people watching the New Zealand versus Australia game. The game itself is regarded one of the greatest all-time Rugby League World Cup clashes, with Australia just coming out 16 points to 14 victors at Ellen Road on Friday night. The Kangaroos went into the contest as the World Cup holders, but were up against the number one ranked team in the world in the shape of the Kiwis. With an attendance of 28,113 in the home of Leeds United for a contest that was akin to a state of origin in its ferocity. However, Australia built up pressure in second 40, bossing proceedings, and eventually taking the lead 16 points to 14 through a simple Cameron Murray try. The second half was so much different to the first, but it still had its controversies, with Peta Hiku having two tries disallowed, showing just how close the game was as Australia held on to win the game. And now they go on to meet Samoa in the Rugby League World Final. Though England will not be involved in the contest, in the final basically, it's likely that it will still achieve decent viewing figures based on that semi-final. As the domestic audience average reached 988,000, which is fantastic numbers, but the peak was even better, as the game reached 1.5 million households on Friday night. Let's hope the final is as good as the two semi-finals, as it shows millions of people want to see how great sport is played. Oh, and one other thing, that 1.5 million you see there does not include the online watchers numbers, as those numbers are not in yet. People are still watching it. How I was again. What a fantastic advert for Rugby League. Hopefully they can use that as a Trans-Tasman test in the mid-season or whatever. Who knows? It's going to be a fun event no matter what happens. After the Samoa victory, there was one Englishman who was partly celebrating and feeling a little bit bittersweet when it came to the England defeat. Lee Radford was reduced to tears after the post-match embrace with England head coach Shaun Wane. Radford, Castleford Tigers head coach, had been part of Matt Parish's coaching staff and will play a role in next week's World Cup final after Samoa broke the hearts of England by dumping them out of the tournament in golden point extra time. Radford was speaking to Rugby League Live in a media mixed zone when he was spotted by a crestfallen Wane, who had himself been left in tears after the England's loss. Wane didn't say a word to Radford, shook his hand and greeted him with a hug before walking off. With Wayne visibly devastated, Radford was moved to tears himself after seeing his coaching colleague broken. "That's effing heartbreaking, that, isn't it?" he said. "I've got a lump in my throat." While trying to laugh off his own tears, Radford struggled to find his words. What he said was, yeah, wow, that's thrown me out. Yeah, you've just got asked me what it means to England, and that probably tells you the answer there. It was a surreal moment for Radford, who played 5 times for England during his own career. He said, "I absolutely loved it to be England, if that made sense, but what the game needs over here, it's hard to describe to some of the NRL players when they come to CAS. The Penrith boys had their chins on the floor training at Featherstone. We make the most out of a bad situation, but the more I'm speaking to them and how good it is over there and how much more investment is going in, it's heartbreaking, really." Radford, who insisted Samoa will be humble after exacting revenge, heaped praise on the squad following an emphatic response to a terrible start to the tournament. "It's amazing how quickly they got over the defeat to England. We expected to be off. They'd been on the piss all weekend against the team that had been the best prepared in the comp. Our preparation was awful. Half were in England and half were on the sauce in Australia. I didn't think we'd be as bad as we were," speaking on that first game, "but we've got a bit better and a bit better each game, and today we got better again." Despite being the only Englishman in either camp going into the Rugby League World Cup final, he's an honorary Samoan for the game, so he won't be thinking of the pride of what he's accomplished, but what the squad have accomplished. It will be towards the betterment of it, you can assure that. But now, we have to take solace that, as I said, one Englishman is in the final. We'll have to find out who the referee appointments are. It's more than likely going to be a neutral one. It won't be surprised me if it's either Gerard Sutton or the other referee who refereed the New Zealand versus Australia game, whose name eludes me at this point. I apologise about that. So tell me what your thoughts are on the game. Still got a lot more to come about it. And finally, in a bit of positivity for Rugby League, the West Tigers have decided to take one of their home games to New Zealand in a display of gratitude for the Warriors, who made an unprecedented personal sacrifice for the good of the NRL competition during the COVID-19 pandemic. I think everyone connected to the game would agree that what the Warriors did was remarkable. Tigers CEO Justin Pascoe said in a club statement. After announcing the joint venture will move their round 24 clash with Andrew Webster's men to Hamilton. The whole Warriors organisation moved their entire operation to Australia indefinitely in 2020, setting up their base at Redcliffe. This meant their fans were deprived of an opportunity to see their team live for over 100 days due to travel restrictions imposed during that period. The statement continued, "We owe them gratitude and then some. It was selfless, it was generous, and it was for the good of the game. And what we are doing is also for the good of the game." The Tigers have formed strong bonds recently with the Warriors after becoming the first team in almost 3 years to play against them at Mount Smart Stadium in July. The match proved a huge celebration, and now the Tigers have further strengthened relationships in New Zealand with the announcement of an additional fixture in the country. We feel very privileged as a club to be able to give back to the whole of New Zealand community by being the first NRL club post-COVID to take a home game to New Zealand, Pascoe said. It was our way of saying thank you to the rugby league community in New Zealand, giving something back. The Tigers' move means that the fans across New Zealand will be given an opportunity to see the Warriors in action during 2023, with them taking their season opener against against Newcastle to Wellington. Their first official home game will then arrive in round 4 when they take on Canterbury at Mount Smart Stadium, while their clash against the Tigers will be scheduled for August in Hamilton. Warriors CEO Cameron George praised the gesture from the Tigers and called for a massive crowd to show up for the special occasion. We're delighted West Tigers are bringing their home game to us in New Zealand, he said. I think it's a terrific gesture, and I'm sure all league fans in this country will be getting right behind the event. Meanwhile, the city's mayor, Paulo Southgate, claimed the show of gratitude was greatly appreciated and will provide some much needed entertainment from rugby league in the city of Hamilton. New Zealand fans missed out on many opportunities to attend new NRL games during the pandemic, so it's fantastic West Tigers are bringing this extra match to our city and making FMG Stadium Waikato their home ground, she said. We have such a passionate league community here in Waikato, and I know local fans will put their support right behind this event. It's a fantastic gesture from West Tigers to give back to the New Zealand public, as they have been passionate even though they haven't had a team to support. Now they've got even more positivity, and more fans are coming around to the way that teams like West Tigers are thinking. It's a great opportunity. Hopefully more be done to help that. And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe and share this video worldwide, as well as clicking on that notification bell for any updates on new videos that may be coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's stories in the comment section below, as there's a few things to go through. West Tigers' generous decision has got my pumping for appreciation of NRL clubs in this day and age. That's kind of difficult to do for me, with the self-interest that has been around for the NRL for quite some time. But I digress. Well done, West Tigers, for doing that. Lee Radford, he's made the right choice, it looks like. Being the assistant coach in Samoa will only benefit him in the future and create those new pathways for him and his scouting network, even jobs in Australia itself. And then the viewing figures: Australia, New Zealand, fantastic figures. Friday Night Rugby League in Hull. What more can you ask for? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide. End the episode as I always do by wishing you all the best, so please stay safe, and I'll see you in the next episode.